Hi, I'm Molly Hawkins, and I'm a marriage and family therapist with Seattle Christian Counseling, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about an article I wrote about the 8 most common parenting mistakes I tend to see in my practice. I just wanted to elaborate a little bit further. One of the first ones that I tend to see is parents striving for happiness over health, and I see this in parents looking for ways to make their kids happy rather than considering the long-term effects. So providing them with things that they want, fulfilling their immediate needs, and not looking for ways for their children to learn. For example, if your child was to leave their lunch at home, the way that you can make your kid happy is to drive their lunch to school and deliver it for them. But one way they can learn the importance of remembering it themselves is maybe having a day where they have to ask a friend for a snack or figure out how to buy lunch at school. But when we jump in and immediately provide things like a treat at the store or a special gift when it's not a birthday, that takes away opportunities for them to learn, for them to grow and develop. And as parents, it's so fun to see your kids take joy in things and enjoy a special treat, but really to consider the opportunities that they have to learn and grow when we slow things down, when they can earn things, when they can acknowledge consequences. Those things tend to be really important. The other thing I notice is that I'll have parents come in and they're really loving parents. They're doting on their kids, and then they'll speak really disrespectfully to their spouse, and that almost counteracts the interaction with their child when their kid is seeing them speak poorly of their husband or wife. It's really important to be respectful to your spouse in front of your kids, to speak highly of them, to show that you see them in a positive light. It's just as important as encouraging your children. So that's something I tend to point out to parents when I see it in session. Another really big one that I catch parents in a lot is not following through. So they've got great intentions, they have consequences set up, but when it comes to following through, it doesn't always happen. So is the phone really taken away for a month? No. Do they really have to miss their soccer game? No. And that is sending a message to your kid. They need to know that when there's a consequence, you're going to hold up to it. That's showing them that you have boundaries, that you're the boss, and that when they break the rules, there is actually going to be something that follows. Otherwise, you're teaching them that those things probably won't happen, and they can get away with those mistakes without getting any kind of punishment or consequence. So really, watch your mouth before it comes out. Don't say, well, then we're not going to the zoo, unless you can really hold up to that you're not going to go to the zoo that day. And sometimes that takes a preemptive conversation with your spouse about what those consequences are, but making sure that you can really follow through is pretty important. Another thing I see is a lot of self-criticism for parents. So, gosh, I'm so stupid, or, oh, I can't believe how forgetful I am. And just even little comments like that, kids tend to pick up on them and think, well, if mom thinks she's forgetful, maybe I am, or if mom thinks she's stupid, maybe I am. And so really watching how you speak about yourself, that also goes into a negative relationship with food. So what your relationship with your body looks like and your relationship with food looks like. Do you speak positively of yourself? How do you talk about yourself when you're looking in the mirror, when you're kind of having an off day? Kids are watching pretty closely and watching how you eat and how you treat food and yourself. And so really making sure that what you say in front of them is positive things, finding qualities about yourself that you do like that you can highlight, and showing them that it's okay to think positively about themselves, and that feeling, eating a cookie doesn't make you a bad person, or forgetting a friend's birthday doesn't define you as a bad friend, that these are choices that maybe you wish you would have done differently, but it's not defining who you are. Your character or your value is really important. Another one is avoiding healing in relationships, particularly with family. So I've had a lot of clients come in and say things like, well, we don't talk to grandma anymore, or we don't talk to, my mom's sister, and they're not quite sure why. And so it's really important for kids to watch you find reconciliation in your relationships, to work through things with family members, even if you're not going to be as close as you were before. Showing your children that you can have a respectful relationship with someone that has been challenging for you can be an amazing example for them. And then it doesn't hinder them from having a relationship with grandma or aunt or whoever it is. That they can still have, as long as it's a safe person, they can still have a loving relationship, even if you're choosing not to be super close to that person. Another one is neglecting self-care. I know for myself as a parent, that is the first thing that goes out the window, because there's so many other needs going on. But really making sure to take that time for yourself, to tell yourself it's okay to leave the dishes, to leave the emails, and really rest and rejuvenate. One, so your kids see that you're taking time, you're taking a Sabbath, you're slowing down, but also, even if they don't see it, that you are recharging your batteries, that you're getting rested, because when we're running on fumes, we tend to offer quite a bit less to our kids. So whatever that looks like, whatever's life-giving, joy-filled for you, making sure there's a little bit of that in every day. And then lastly, not neglecting your marriage. That's something I see parents doing, is the kids' schooling and activity tends to come first, and they forget that there's a living relationship going on between them and their spouse that needs attention, that needs love and time. And really giving time to that is healthy for the marriage. It's healthy for your spouse. It's really healthy for your kids to see that. So making that a priority. So we want, just kind of in summary, we want the kids to not necessarily be at the very top, but to have a healthy place in the flow of things, that you're caring for yourself, you're caring for your spouse, you're having boundaries, that keeping your kid happy isn't number one, because that will feel good momentarily, potentially, but they're missing out on opportunities to learn, and the outcome will look really different for them as an adult if they haven't learned consequences and watched you care for yourself really well. So those are just a few things that that I tend to see on a regular basis. So just a reminder to keep those in check. If you have any questions for me or things you want to hear about, feel free to shoot me an email or reach out, and I hope you have a great day.